Hello, everybody. Welcome in for another episode of Ball Club Confidential, brought to you by the great people at Knoxville Smiles. I'm your host, Austin Price. Coming up tonight on the show, we have Tennessee third baseman Billy Amick. But before we get to him, we bring in the volunteer club's Brandon Spurlock. And Brandon, Tennessee, coming off a nice weekend in basketball, 2 big wins. They're on to the Sweet 16, on to Detroit. All Vol Club members need to be watching out for where the watch party, where all the kind of hoopla will be in the Motor City.
That's right. Yeah, excited to be going up there and kind of keep the season going. So I know we're spending some time at the MGM Grand and things like that. So be on the lookout and look forward to catching up with folks and keeping this thing rolling.
As for baseball, the porch is a hopping place this time of year, and if you're out there on the porch, you're going to see a lot of Vol Club merchandise.
You know, not only Vol Club merchandise, but there's a lot of home run balls flying out that way. I know a couple guys that are close to breaking some records. You know, I had my chance at a moment. You know, I was out there on the grill. And I don't think it was Billy Amick, who everybody's going to hear from here soon, because all his balls go over the railroad tracks. But one of the other guys hit one right on our porch. You know, I'm tending to the dogs and kind of, you know, everybody's depending on me. And I saw it at the last moment, and it hit like 4 feet from where I was standing. That was my chance. My initial reaction, unfortunately, was to like step away. But if I could go back, you know, I would have barehanded it with the tong. But
hesitancy, never a popular play on the porch.
Yeah, it's just there it is, and then boom, it's gone, bounced away. So
I'll tell you what's not gone. The great people at Knoxville Smiles. Now let's learn more about them. At Knoxville Smiles, they aren't just focused on teeth. They're focused on helping people and making their lives better. It just so happens that they are great at dentistry, too.
Oh, Billy? Oh, yeah.
Good, man. You?
Good.
All right, Billy, we're about a third of the way through the college baseball season. What's this year been like, and what have you enjoyed about Tennessee?
Yeah, I've loved getting to be here and, you know, play in front of this fan base. First of all, it's been a great experience. You know, I'd heard about the fans of Tennessee and, you know, how passionate they are about, you know, sports and games, but actually being here in person and getting to, you know, play these games in front of however many people we can fit in Lindsey Nelson Stadium on a midweek is pretty crazy for me, and it's been great. And I've enjoyed, you know, every part up to this bit. I'm just ready to get the rest of the season going and, you know, keep continuing to play with these guys. So
getting that SEC season rolling, the atmospheres, both home and away, become really good, right? So how much do you kind of relish those? I mean, sure, the early season stuff's fine. It kind of gets some momentum, get a little bit of traction. But now you get to that SEC slate, and every weekend is a grind.
Even in non-conference games on a Tuesday, it's been great, and I've enjoyed it. Like I said, getting to play in front of these fans, and then, you know, going on the road is it's tough anywhere, but especially in the SEC. And going to Alabama, for example, was good for our team to get to do that, and we're ready to move forward. And, you know, the fans are obviously. They're very passionate about their school, and I think everywhere is like that. So it was a good experience, and we're ready to keep rolling.
You're a third baseman. You've been a third baseman. What do you like most about playing the hot corner?
I like just being in the field, honestly. It doesn't really have to be the hot corner, have to be third. But I do like playing infield, and just the way that my body is. I'm not really built to be a shortstop and
sure,
you know, move in the hole and make all those plays, but you know, I enjoy playing third, and I feel that's where I feel most comfortable overall. So I have the most fun just as a product of that, playing third, and I feel like that's where I can help my team best win.
You look at that too, like at the next level. Maybe you play third, maybe you don't. I mean, you know, there's some versatility there. I mean, Trey Lipscomb was Tennessee's third baseman a couple of years ago, and he's been playing a lot of second during spring training with the Nationals. So, you know, how much do you like? I mean, I know Christian kind of bounced around second and short at points early in the year. How much do you kind of relish the, like, you know, I mean, if I have a chance to go and play another position, it's good for me to show versatility.
Yeah, that's a huge piece, not only at the next level, but even, you know, in college baseball, and having the ability to play multiple positions can help your team win in the long run. It doesn't matter who it is. I think all of our infielders can really play any position, and that's something special. And something that have definitely taken advantage of up to this point, and putting guys in different spots and whatever it is. It's absolutely important to play different positions, not only for yourself but also mainly for the team, and just helping your team win at whatever it is, whatever you're asked of. Just having the ability to do that's important.
You've been really hitting the ball well. When you're seeing the ball really well, how do you know? You know what I mean? Can you just, is it a vibe? Is it just a feeling? Is it just like come natural? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and if you're not, how do you kind of get back to where you are?
Yeah, honestly, my style of play is just like, I said this in an interview before, it was just like less think and more hit. So I don't have a long, thought out process that I go through when I'm going to the plate. I'm just kind of up there trying to hit the ball hard and help my team win. But when I am seeing the ball well, it's obviously just a confidence booster in my mind. It helps me, have that confidence. I don't care who's on that mound. I'm gonna be able to hit them, and I have confidence in that. And then when I'm maybe not seeing it as well, I'm still, just having the mind process of doing what it takes to help my team win. Whatever it is, whether it's get a guy over or get him in, just having all my focus and all my, preparation aimed towards that, and just keeping the same routine whether I'm seeing the ball well or I'm not. Just doing what it takes to help my team win is really my main approach to hitting.
So you and several athletes across college sports in general have taken advantage of the transfer portal. You come in, you have new teammates. You leave some teammates behind. What's that experience like? Because I know you're still buddies with those guys at Clemson, and then you've got a new set of guys that you've kind of gelled and bonded with here.
Yeah, it's actually been great. We have, I don't know the exact number of transfers, but we have a good bit, and we're honestly half and half new guys and returning guys. So it wasn't just me that had to make that transfer and that transition into a new team with new coaches and whatever it is. So it was they made it easy. Not only the returning guys, but even the new guys. Everybody kind of bought in, and we gelled together pretty well, and honestly pretty early. And it was fun to see, and yeah, I've enjoyed getting to be here ever since August or July or whenever I got here. I think everybody can say that, and everybody can say that the transition was easy, and everybody here made it that way.
Who have you bonded with the most? I mean, like who have you kind of like 6 months into this thing, you're like, man, this guy's going to be in my life for the rest of my life?
Yeah, I would probably say Hunter Ensley and Blake Burke are the two that I probably hang out with the most. We just kind of, I don't know, I guess you say hit it off early, and we just kind of had a great friendship up to this point. I know it's going to last for forever, but there's obviously more guys that I know I'm going to have a relationship for the rest of my life, and that's one beautiful thing about being on a college baseball team, especially at a very high level, is you go through the ups and downs with those guys, and there's nobody else you would want to be with.
So you're sitting there on the opposite side last year at Clemson in the regional, and come so close, and then it gets ripped away from you. But you kind of got to see Tennessee fans in action there on the road, and then see what the atmosphere was like around Coach Vitello's program. At that point, when you went in the portal, did you go, man, I just saw those guys, and they look like they're having a lot of fun?
Yeah, it was funny actually. You mentioned the fan base. My dad was sitting right in front of a Tennessee fan that was like apparently going crazy, and my dad like wanted to turn around and punch him. And so yeah, that's funny how that all worked out. And he said he wanted to turn around and like pour water on him or something. He was so mad about the fan. But anyways, no, it's funny how it all worked out. Tennessee was like, there wasn't anybody specific on my mind when I hit the portal. I just was looking for something new and something that was right, and it ended up being here. And it's just funny how it worked out that I played them in a regional and got to see them in a game, in a very big game, obviously, and just got to see how they play. You'd obviously hear about all the crazy stuff that they've done especially in the 22 year, just all the games they won and how well they did, and whatever else you can say about them. But getting to see, them in person was, I guess I can say it helped. Just seeing how they play and how much fun that they have and how much they want to win is one thing that I took from that game.
When you first talked to Coach Vitello, what was that conversation like? What were you thinking, and what were your initial impressions?
Yeah, the first time I talked to Coach in person was actually in a parking lot up in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and we got back from a away game, and he was just like sitting in the parking lot in his car, and me and Brad Lowry, who's played JUCO last year and is here now, we were on the same summer team, and he was just like, "Hey guys," like he was in the parking lot. It was like 10 at night, and that was the first time I met him, and we just introduced ourselves. And
so he walked up to you like TMZ at the airport.
Pretty much, yeah. I guess you could say that, but it was definitely, it was cool. I thought it was cool, and just never seen anything like that. It's just, I guess it can go to show how different he is, and that's just how he is. What I've come to learn.
What was his message?
His message, I don't know if I really have a specific answer. You could just really tell that he was, a good dude and just was real about everything, and there wasn't any nonsense, around him. He was kind of straight to the point about how Tennessee is and what they want, and that honestly kind of helped his case for me, just because I didn't want any of that, nonsense. I just want to get straight to the point. I want to win ball games, and I know he wants the same thing. So that's definitely one similarity we had right off the bat, and then just kind of went from there.
You get to a new location. You don't know that many people. I mean, maybe you fringely know them. Mm. And it's almost like a restart.
Yeah.
Does it feel like you're back to a freshman, so to speak, or is it a little bit different than that?
I would say it's a little bit different, but at first maybe you can get the freshman feel just because you're a new guy. You might know like one or two guys, and it was just different because I had been in college baseball, and I kind of know how things go. I kind of know what a good locker room looks like, what a bad one might look like, how just the ins and outs are really a team, and just like I would say more than a freshman, just knowing how things go really for coaches and players, just kind of understanding that, and it was just easier to have relationships with players too than a freshman kind of coming in. You have all these upperclassmen, like they've known each other for years and whatnot, and then coming in as a transfer is just kind of different. I think it's just a different mindset for upperclassmen as me coming in as a junior than a freshman. I just felt like it was different and easier for me to get to know the upperclassmen and even the freshmen too. It was easy for everybody.
What makes you smile more? A big bomb, or a barehanded or diving play at third where you deliver and get the guy out?
Well, it's tough to beat a big bomb. We have those conversations around the locker room. Like pitchers will say, "There's nothing cooler than really hitting a homer," and everybody's watching you around the bases, and there's nothing a pitcher can do that's relevant to that. So I would definitely say that it is cool to make the barehanded plays and all that stuff, but hitting a bomb it's definitely awesome because you get to go back in the dugout and everybody's fired up, and it's a good momentum for the team.
Well, speaking of smiling, let's hear more about the great people at Knoxville Smiles.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Costa. Dr. Malone and I here at Knoxville Smiles are here to help you with any of your dental needs, whether it's a routine cleaning, a root canal, or if you just want some advice. Did you know that you don't have to settle for a denture anymore? My team and Dr. Malone are here to help you no matter where you're at and to help you figure out the truth for your dental health. So give us a call or visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
All right, so your dad was a NASCAR driver.
Yep.
For about 7 years, right? Like 97 to 03, something like that.
Something like that. I couldn't tell you.
Had his fair share of top tens.
Yep.
But you were born to 02, so a lot of that happened before you were around. So do you look at pictures? Does your dad ever show you highlights of him racing? Like, you know, I mean, do you grasp, like, you know, he ran the Busch Series, which is like the equivalent of like getting to AAA, right? I mean, it's not the top, but it's, I mean, only the top 1% even get to that far. So I mean, like, you know, I mean, it's a pretty big deal. So do you ever, you know, do you ever look at the old pictures, look at the old footage?
Yeah, I definitely have. It's actually funny. If you look up his name on YouTube, the first thing that comes up is his top 5 crashes of Lyndon Amick. So if you ever want to go look that one up, it's a good watch. But no, it's obviously really cool to get to say your dad was a NASCAR driver, but he honestly doesn't like when I say that on interviews or stuff like that. He's so far past that life. He doesn't even watch.
Well, that's over 20 years ago.
Yeah, he's done a lot since then. But no, we obviously have a lot of pictures from back then, and I've seen a couple of them and watched a couple races. But he doesn't really worry about it anymore. He doesn't even watch racing anymore. So there's not much to it these days.
You have you know, a lot of your ties down in the South Carolina area, just kind of between, you know, Aiken and Columbia. Favorite spot to go to in South Carolina?
In South Carolina, it's probably Beaufort, South Carolina.
Why?
It's like a little small town, probably an hour and a half south of Charleston, I think. And it's just like, it's a little main street on the water, basically. It's on the little riverway, and we always go down there, and there's shops and stuff downtown, and there's great places to eat, and it's just not as populated as somewhere like Charleston.
Sure.
So it's nice, and you're like a 20-minute boat ride from the beach. So
you're not a Myrtle Beach guy, is what I'm finding out.
Negative. Not a Myrtle Beach guy.
When you like to hunt and fish, now is this lake fishing or is this deep sea fishing? Both?
Yeah, wherever they're biting, pretty much. But I do most of my fishing, you know, in a lake or in ponds and stuff with my friends. But
is that why you like Inslee? 'Cause he and Burke just look like guys that like to fish.
Yeah, well, Burke, being from California, he doesn't really fish a lot, but he says he wants to, so we might go.
They do have lakes in California there.
Yeah, they do. But I don't know. We haven't been yet, but we've always talked about going, so we might have to once we get a day off or something like that.
You don't get many of those this time of year.
No.
Give me your best fishing story.
Best fishing story. I actually have a good one. So, I was fishing at my grandma's pond, and I got caught on a limb, and was like trying to yank it off, and ended up pulling like as tight as I could, and it finally popped out. The weight came up and hit me in my eye, and the weight was like an inch from the hook. So I don't know how I didn't get hooked, but the weight hit me in my eye. Ended up like filling with blood like halfway. It was bad, but I think I went to the ER or something.
How's this a good story again?
It's action packed, I guess. There's not a lot of good fishing injury stories, I don't think.
Well, I didn't know we were gonna get injuries. I thought you were telling me you caught a big, you know, largemouth or smallmouth or.
Well, I thought this was the best story for the viewers to get something to know about me. If you ever see an eye a little lazy, that's why. It's my right one.
Oh, trust me. If you've watched Fall Club Confidential long enough, you know that I have a lazy eye at times. When I'm tired, which is a lot of times when we tape these shows, not today though, that thing tends to wander. When you look at baseball, who do you try to model your game after? Who do you enjoy watching? And is it always got to be today's player? Do you go back and watch old clips of old players?
Yeah, so my answer to this question pretty much every time is Evan Longoria. If you don't know who he is, he's played in the big leagues for I don't know how long, ever since I can remember.
Arizona now, right?
Yeah, he's with Arizona, went to the World Series last year, and that was the first time he's been in the World Series since I think his rookie year.
Yeah, when he was with Tampa.
Yeah. So, but he's third baseman, right-handed hitter, has hit really well pretty much his whole career, and always been solid at third. And I like his demeanor, at least from what I can tell. He seems like a pretty laid-back guy, just, you know, hits the ball hard and plays third. And so I just always liked to watch him. And then another guy's Ken Griffey Jr. And just because of the swagger that he brings to the game and how fun he is to watch. But those two are definitely my main answers.
You ever pull up those old home run derbies with Ken Griffey Jr.?
I have not watched them. I watched one with Josh Hamilton. That one was crazy. He hit like 30-something in one round.
Yeah.
So, but I haven't seen the Ken Griffey one, no.
You got to go on YouTube. Pull up those ones from the 90s.
I do, yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr., Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa going toe-to-toe. I think the one year was at Fenway. It was really good.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that.
I know you don't care because you just want to play Major League Baseball. But if you got to pick which team you went to, who would it be? Because South Carolina doesn't have a team.
Right. Yeah, I guess it would have to be, either staying close in like Atlanta or Tampa or something like that. Or, I mean, I love Texas, so anywhere in Texas would be great too. Houston or Arlington.
So Drew Beam would say too, just so I can be near that girl of his.
Yeah, I know.
I
know.
When you did you grow up a Braves fan?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, I had went to the games in the old stadium now. It's kind of weird, but I wasn't like a diehard fan of anybody. I just liked watching baseball growing up. I'm still kind of that way. I don't really have a team. I just like watching baseball.
Best moment from playing baseball, not at the college level, and not like, I would say like just like like Little League, that age range. It didn't have to be Little League, but you know what I mean, minor league, Little League, even in high school. What's your best moment? What comes to mind? What's a core memory for you?
Yeah, probably my first home run, and I think it was like I don't know what age group, maybe 9 or 10, 10U age group. And we were in Houston, Texas, me and my dad and my little brother.
That's why you like Texas so much.
Yeah, must be. I like hitting in Texas, apparently. But me, my dad, and my brother, my little brothers, I was playing in a younger age group. But I had gotten close like 4 or 5 times that season and finally got one out. And it was just a great moment. I remember, getting in the car after and just talking about it and being, so happy that it actually finally happened. So, yeah, that's definitely.
How quick did you hit number 2? Normally when you get the first, it's like boom, boom, right?
Yeah, it was, I don't remember exactly when it was, but I remember they started rolling in after that one. So.
Do you have, you talk about that 22 team, and they had so much bravado. I don't know if y'all are quite to that level, but it does seem like you have a little more bravado than last year's team, which seemed more kind of quiet and reserved. Do you feel like you've got that in you? Are you seem like such a reserved kid and a well-mannered kid, but do you kind of have that like when you're out there on the field? Are you a talker at all?
Yeah.
If you're rounding the bases on a home run, are you talking?
9 times out of 10, yeah, I'm gonna say something, especially in the SEC play, or any big ball game. I'm saying something, but yeah, off the field, I'm super laid back. Everybody says I'm quiet and just a shy guy, honestly. But once I'm on the field, it's a different ball game for everybody. Really, everybody's not a different person, but it definitely brings out the most, especially playing at a high level.
What's something most people don't know about you?
There's really not much to me, to be honest with you. Something people don't know about me. I can do a backflip, standing backflip. That's about all I got.
Do you do this after wins? Do you do this?
Are
we gonna go Ozzie Smith the rest of the way?
I don't know.
You're gonna run out there and to start the game and do a backflip?
We actually have a little freshman that does it. I didn't say I could do it just because I didn't want to do it every game. So we got a little left-handed pitcher that'll do it before every game. But no, I can do it. I just choose when to and when not to.
Who's the one guy when you got here and you went into kind of the fall ball and you're playing each other? The pitcher that you're like, I don't like going against this guy. He's rough on me.
Both the AJs are definitely. They suck to hit against. Causey, just because he's a submarine pitcher.
Yeah, delivery.
Yeah, I think I almost popped my ACL on one of I check swing on like a sinker.
Well, we're glad you didn't.
Yeah, me too. And then AJ, I think, has struck me out every time I've faced him. So those two they suck to face.
Russell, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, he's been throwing it pretty well. He just threw again in Alabama, took a couple weekends off, and he looked great. So
what's the long-term goal here? Obviously, I know it's play major leagues, but I mean, like, kind of play out your dream in your mind.
Yeah, obviously, like you said, to play major leagues, and as long as my body's able to, and as long as I'm having fun, just play baseball, and I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. And it's been great up to this point in my life, and I expect it to, keep being the most fun I can have in my life until I'm physically unable to do it anymore. And if I'm able to do that, then whatever, God has in store for me after baseball is what I'll do. Whether that's go, hunt and fish for a living or something like that, that'd be great. But no, whatever it is, I want to do whatever I'm happiest doing.
How important is your faith to you?
Yeah, it's really important. I obviously grew up going to church and all with, my parents taking me to church and stuff like that. And but yeah, it's really important to me to have that, not only in everyday life, but especially in baseball, just knowing that, I have someone there that, is going to love me regardless of how good I do on a baseball field. And, whatever my results are, I know that, Jesus loves me for who I am, and, there's nothing I can do to change that.
Favorite uniform combination? Is it Sunday creams? Is it the black? What do you like?
For me, it's the black. I got to see him in person for the regional, but we wore them in a midweek a couple weeks ago, and I really enjoyed wearing those. They were sick. The creams are pretty sweet too.
What do you think the football team would look like if they rolled out with cream uniforms?
I don't know if that'd be the look. They got some good things going for them. I don't know if they should throw the creams in there.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, stay with the smoky grays and blacks. They look good.
How much have you enjoyed that part? Because you've been to two schools that are football schools in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, you got Howard Rock at Clemson. You got, obviously run through the T here. Compare those atmospheres.
Yeah. Well, I thought Clemson was a great atmosphere, which it is. It's really good. But I had grown up going to Clemson games, and that's the only really college football game I'd known my entire life until I got here, and I was like, whoa! Like, there's 20 more thousand people in the stands, and that's the loudest college football game I've ever been to in my life. But it was sick to see that, and obviously hadn't played a baseball game yet, but I was like, if this is how much crazier football is here, I wonder what baseball is like. And it's lived up to that so far. But no, the football games are really fun to go to.
I'll get you out the door on this one. What's one thing that you would tell young Billy Amick to give advice looking back?
Yeah, I would say to have as much fun as you possibly can, and don't put any pressure on yourself to, do well or perform for somebody or be results driven. Just to have fun and play the game through every step, whether it's 12U or in high school trying to get recruited. Just have as much fun as you can. It's a kids game that we're all playing, and we're all I think everybody puts a lot of pressure on themselves. I mean, not everybody, but people who put a lot of pressure on themselves take the fun out of the game. And that's one thing that, personally I don't like to do. I like to have fun, and I would say having fun at every step of the game is essential for any baseball player that wants to play for a long time.
Well, we hope you get to play for a long time. Professional teams do tend to watch these things. NFL teams have watched this show before and used it when they've interviewed players at the Combine. So if those Major League Baseball teams watch this, they're going to learn two things. The Texas teams are going to go, he likes to play in Texas, check, and put in his contract, do not let him cast a rod near a tree. That also is detrimental to him staying and playing for a long time. He's Billy Amick. I'm Austin Price. We'll talk to you next week on another Vol Club Confidential.